Napkin presentation number 4, digging down to bedrock. Discouragement is one of the problems that can beset a new distributor that you have sponsored if you fail to impress upon them the importance of getting a head start. That is why we stress that they do not start counting their months in the business until they have had their training month or their training period of whatever length of time they need. When they first get into an MLM organization, they may have a tendency without a head start to look up at the leaders way out in front of them and become discouraged and think they will never be able to catch up. Draw a picture of a crowd of runners. Note the arrow showing a runner trying to catch up to a crowd and the runner going even faster trying to stay ahead of the others. Remember when you were in PE in school and were running laps? People will run faster to stay ahead of a crowd than to catch up to it. Since there is no finish line in this race, you can all be winners. We have a quote for our team that reads, "The only losers are the quitters." However, to run a good race, one should train for it. When you sponsor someone, have him or her consider the first 2 to 6 weeks in the business as their training month. The next month will be their starting month. Everything they read, listen to, meetings they attend, getting together with their sponsor and other people, the products they try, and the products they move, all this is training, is giving them a head start on their starting month in the business, which is next month. When next month comes, if they're not ready to get serious about the program, consider that they are still in their training month or period. Don't have them start counting their months until they are ready to get serious. That way, when they finally do get serious, they will be warmed up for the race and can get off to a head start and a faster pace. One of the major benefits of all these napkin presentations is that as you share them with your new distributors and prospects and have training programs, they have a tendency to become self-motivators. Every time I show the 2 times 2 is 4 presentation, I get all excited again about the possibilities in MLM. Once you read and study and understand what I'm going to show you in the following pages, you will be motivated and encouraged every time you see a new high-rise office building under construction. Notice that when construction begins, it seems like it takes months and months, almost forever, before you see it begin to rise out of the ground. But once it gets above ground level, it seems to rise about 1 floor per week. It goes up fast. So picture that tall office building as your own organization, as it will be someday, and ponder what you will have to do to get it. When you first begin to sponsor those 5 serious people, you are digging the foundation with a shovel or a spade. But notice that when you dig down into the second level by teaching your people to sponsor, that's 25 people now, and you have to bring in the bulldozers. Okay? When you have taught your people how to teach the people in their group to sponsor, you are well on your way to bedrock. And you are now beginning to excavate with steam shovels. When you have begun to see the 125 third level people, you have reached bedrock. Now you can start going up. When you are down 4 deep in your organization, it means you are now starting to become visible and your building will rise up quite rapidly. So if you have been in the business for several months and don't see anything happening, don't get discouraged. It's just that the foundation is still under construction. It's sort of like the gold prospector who spent months and months digging a mine, only to give up and quit when he was just 6 inches from the main vein. Again, let's go back to the salesman. That's what happens to them. They move on to something else just as they were about to hit bedrock and start seeing the building rise. You really can't expect to see the visible results of real growth until you've gone down at least 4 levels deep. If any one of your lines is 4 deep, it means you are starting to build floors and are visible. Picture an illustration of what the foundation of the person that sponsors 130 people will look like. Notice that they haven't reached bedrock even if they've sponsored 5 product users or wholesale buyers and had a group of 780. Notice they're 130 wide. but they haven't even reached soft ground and they haven't reached bedrock. Without a solid foundation sitting on bedrock, the building can't get too tall or it will crumble. Relating this back to taking a trip to California, the person that sponsored 130 was in first gear too many times. If they all sponsored 5, he would never get out of second gear. Learn these napkin presentations and use them. You won't get stuck in second gear. Build your foundation deep, down to bedrock, and you'll reach high gear. When we get to napkin presentation number 9, chapter 10 on motivation and attitude, and the other presentations, you will thoroughly understand why it's important to build deep. Before going to napkin presentation number 5, I want to remind you that the first 4 presentations you want to show your people as soon as possible. The ones that follow can be introduced anytime after your people have started sponsoring others into the business. Thanks again. This is Bo Reed. I look forward to showing you napkin presentation number 5.